All right, I want to start this lesson by giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekach, Kodash. Double honor to the elders and the apostles and teachers and wise men of great millstone that I learned this truth from through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Salutations out to the elect. So I want to start this lesson in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. Let's start at verse 1. It says, again, one preparing himself to sail and about to pass through the raging waves, called upon a piece of wood more rotten than the vessel that carried him. For verily desire of gain devised that, and the workman built it by his skill. But thy providence, O Father, governed it. For thou hast made a way in the sea and a safe path in the waves. Meaning what? That the Lord is the reason for salvation. The Lord is the reason that one is saved. Even though a man creates an idol and puts his trust in an idol, the Lord is the reason why that man is delivered or is saved or is rescued, or the reason for the good and the bad that happens in a man's life. Not an idol, you see, not something made with the hands of man by his skill. Verse 4, showing that thou canst save from all danger. Salakia. It says, showing that thou canst save from all danger, yea, though a man went to sea without art. You see? Without the work of his hands. You see? Because though that idol can't save him. Verse 5, it says, nevertheless, thou wouldest not that the works of thy wisdom should be idle. And therefore do men commit their lives to a small piece of wood, and passing the rough sea in a weak vessel are saved. You see? Verse 6, for in the old times also, when the proud giants perished, the hope of the world governed by the hand escaped in a weak vessel and left to all ages a seed of generations. You know the story of Noah, when the Lord rescued Noah from the flood, you see. Verse 7, for blessed is the wood whereby righteousness cometh. And Noah, he was a righteous man, and he found favor in the Lord's sight, because he trusted in the Lord, not in the work of his hands. Even though he built the ark, he trusted in the Lord for salvation. All right. Verse 9, it says, for the ungodly and his ungodliness. Salakia, verse 8, but that which is made with the hands is cursed, you see, as well it as he that made it. For because he made it, and it, because being corruptible, it was called God, you see, or an idol. You see, so the things that men make that they trust in are idols, and it's cursed. And also the person that made it, putting their trust in those idols or gods that they make, they can't see, hear, or smell, that have no power. Verse 9, for the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hated unto God. For that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it. You see? So in the end, the Lord is going to punish all the idols of Babylon along with them that made those idols. You see? Verse 11, therefore even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation. You see? It says, Salakia, it says, because in the creation of God, they are become an abomination and a stumbling block to the souls of man and a snare to the feet of the unwise. You see, because a lot of people trust in those idols. A lot of them have become foolish They don't believe in God, you see. They don't believe that there's a higher power. They put their trust in those idols that they make. It says, this is the point. It says, verse 12, for the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them the corruption of life. All right, so let's stop right there and give you an example of how these Gentiles make idols of just about anything, and how in the end they're going to be punished because the Lord is angry with them. All right, let's play the video.
Imagine seeing Noah's Ark come to life. Well, now you can this summer at the Ark Encounter. It's in Williamston, Kentucky, and Steve Ducey got the full experience. Check it out.
At over 800 acres, there's a lot to see here, so I've got the best tour guide. This is Avery. She's been here since the very beginning.
And I'm excited to show you the life-size Noah's Ark and all the new additions.
That's right.
So let's take a walk.
All right. Shouldn't it be raining, though? I love this. There's a rainbow over the Ark.
Yes, as guests start their journey, they're reminded God always keeps his promises.
Let's go. Let's talk a little bit about the park. 10 years ago, it opened.
Yes.
And now you've added all sorts of new attractions.
We now have the Answer Center, which we host events and things like that. We have a new carousel. The kids absolutely love a massive playground. We have our VR experience, which is amazing. We have a huge zoo. The kids can meet all kinds of amazing animals.
I get why you would have a zoo here.
Yes.
Because there were a bunch of animals on there.
Yes.
Why do you have a zip line? I don't remember Noah with a zip line.
Missed opportunity for him.
Right?
I mean, where else can you ride beside Noah's Ark? It's the only place in the world. Even here on the walkway up to the Ark, we have various birds so people can meet as they walk towards the Ark.
Who's that?
This is a kookaburra.
You see how they corrupted the Lord's way upon the earth? You see? You see how they corrupted the Lord's way? It says, verse 12 again, for the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them the corruption of life. You see? Because the Lord created the... Salakia. Because the Lord created the rainbow to be a covenant that he wouldn't flood the earth. You see? Now see how they turned that into an attraction, an idol, just like they turned the ark that Noah built into an idol that they can go and look at. You see?
America's celebrating
like a
its
spectacle.
250 on July 4th. You're celebrating something on 7/7, right?
Yes. So July 7th, because it's 7th month, 7th day, and then if you look in Genesis 7:7, that's when Noah and his family went into the Ark. That's our 10th anniversary. So if you're planning a road trip for, America's 250,
Right.
make sure you put the Ark Encounter on your list of places to visit.
They've got an eagle. To see it actually built, made out of wood,
Yes.
it's like, holy cow.
Yeah, it
Actually, they had 2 holy cows in there.
Yeah, it really just makes the Bible just spring to life right before your eyes.
This is big inside.
510 feet long, 85 feet wide, 51 feet high. But what's really cool is the dimensions given in Scripture are absolutely perfect for maximum stability and comfort for the passengers on board. And of course, God knew that when he gave Noah the dimensions. So this is the door. There was only one door into the Ark. And so we have the door here with the cross illuminated on it to remind guests there was one door to go into the Ark to be saved from God's judgment on sin, and there's one door, the Lord Jesus Christ, who saves us today.
You see how these heathens do abominable works and think that the Lord is pleased with all of this? You see, it's crazy. All right, let's continue to read. Let's read 11 again, Salakia. It says, therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles there should be a visitation, because in the creation of God they are become an abomination. You see, that whole museum, this whole museum and everything in it in Kentucky is an abomination to the Lord. It says, and a stumbling block to the souls of men, you see. because they'll believe anything they tell them. You see, they'll believe this spectacle rather than believing the actual story of why the Lord allowed Noah to build an ark. You see, the true story behind it, which it was to preserve the seed of the righteous. You see, the righteous seed, which goes back to the sons of God. So a lot of people, that museum is a stumbling block to them because they don't have the truth. They don't have the gospel of the kingdom, which states, even Enoch prophesied it, that the Lord will come back with 10,000 of his saints. You see, so that museum is a stumbling block to the souls of men and a snare to the feet of the unwise. You see, because they trust in people like this that have these things going on. They trust in all these idols, the work of man's hands.
Avery, those are dinosaurs.
They are, and as you can see, small enough to easily fit on the ark.
But I thought the dinosaurs were already gone.
That asteroid would have hit Earth during the flood. We believe that impact crater is found in flood sediment. So all the dinosaurs safe aboard Noah's Ark, 2 of every kind, and then they would have died out sometime after the flood. When you start with the Bible's history, you get a very different picture looking at the world around us.
That's great. Let's go. You know, the great thing about the Ark Encounter is I'm learning parts of the story I've known for over 60 years that I never knew. I didn't know those
Right, it's
details.
all the tiny little details in the text. So many different people have heard of the account of the flood, right? They've read about it as children, they've
Right.
seen the imagery, oftentimes not quite accurate imagery, and when they come and see how big it actually was, and it's not like some of those illustrations we see, it's really eye-opening.
You know, nothing prepares you for the massive scale. And you just think, he built that with his hands and with wood and with faith.
Yeah, you have to see it for yourself. If you haven't been, come and see it for yourself. We're within a one-day drive of 2/3 of the U.S. population. Great summer road trip, and you'll just be absolutely amazed.
I'm glad I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Want to hit the snack bar?
Sounds great.
Let's go.
So visit arkencounter.com for more information to plan your visit.
You see, these heathens, these Gentiles, they've devised so many idols upon the earth, but eventually the Lord is going to visit these idols that they've built. When he sends his son, the Lord is going to visit these idols by destroying them. All right, so let's continue to read. It says, verse 13, for neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. For by the vain glory of man they entered into the world, and therefore shall they come shortly to an end. You see? So the Lord is going to return and bring these idols that these Gentiles have built, even an idol of the ark and the idol of the animals and whatnot. All these idols are going to be visited and destroyed by the Lord when he returns. So I'll end the lesson here. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakwadash. Shalom.